Hello, good morning. Day 57, sorry. Today, I want to talk about dreaming well, actually, I just want you to dream away. I just want to talk about dreams and about fantasies, things we might like to wish for ourselves. And I really want you to be as open and creative and imaginative as possible. Because the next step will be to just try to fit it in your life. But before you can fit something into your life and change your life, you actually must get to the core of what really excites you. And this exercise, actually, what I'm going to do with you today is actually for anyone, even for those who love what they're doing right now and who like their life and actually what they're doing and how their daily life looks is already in the right direction or is already in complete fulfillment. I would still like to challenge you to do this exercise because you might find qualities in this exercise that you're not aware of today. And if you have a clear vision on those qualities, then you might be able to integrate these new qualities in your life. So yes, I would like you to start with just think back of your childhood, especially the childhood between 5 and 10, or 4 and 10 years old. So before you got into your teenage time and were influenced so much by others. But so the time before that, when you were really just being a child and hopefully felt very free in doing what you liked. And think about what your fantasies were back then, what you loved doing most, what the activities you were doing most. And if you can remember, if you had any fantasy play, what that fantasy play was about. So, for example, if I think back about my childhood time, then I always loved being very good at something. So I always liked to be very, very, it's almost detailed in something and become very good at it. So I always liked to, when I did a sport, I wanted to be very good at it. And I always wanted to do something that other people or friends didn't do. So I always wanted to find something new and become good at that. And the second thing I can remember is that I love playing my own shop. So I, probably because I copied that from my father, but he was owner of several stores. And I, as a child, remember that I borrowed money from my brother, like a guilder at the time, so like similar to €1 now or something. And then I went to the store to buy sweets, candies, those stores where you could buy just a sweet per piece. And then I went back and I had made a box with different little boxes in it. And I put the different candies in that box. And then I went around to my brother and sisters and other friends that came by, and then I sold the candies. And I always sold the candies for a little bit more than what I bought them for. So as a very young child, I was very into making money. And then, of course, I gave the guilder back to my brother after I've sold everything, or at least sold the guilder. I had earned the money that I borrowed for him, so I gave him back the guilder. And then in the end, of course, I had like 20 or 15 or 25 cents extra because I made a profit. And I really loved doing that. I always did that also when my nephew came to play. We were always doing this. And I know it was always my initiative, so it was more my joy than his, I think, but he was just willing to play along. And the other thing I loved doing was making buildings. I was always playing with these blocks of wood, making construction and making roads and like little villages, and that I did with my nephew as well. I always played with my nephew when I was young. We were the same age, and so I like to make these constructions. And yeah, so I wasn't really the doll kind of type, playing with the dolls, but I was more the type working with constructions, and the other activity was making money. And that thing with playing this shop was something like no one did. So I really loved doing that as a thing, like, okay, I'm bringing something new here, and I make it easy for other people. I can be of service to other people to bring them their sweets that they like. At least that was what I thought they would like. So think back of what you liked in your childhood. And so first think about the age between 5 and 10. And then think about your teenage time. And in my teenage time, the interest kind of shifted, obviously. So then I was more into the sports activities and become very good at one or two sports. And if I didn't become good at a sport, I didn't really like it. So then I quit that sport, or wasn't really vested into that. So most of the time, I played basketball, which I really loved doing. And the other thing I loved really was dancing. But I liked it even more when I saw other people dance very well, especially when they would dance in couples. And I danced myself, but I wasn't really brilliant at it, at least not with group dancing. But I just liked the way that you could move freely. So think yourself about what you love doing and what excited you. And perhaps you can think of what kind of books you read you loved most. And yeah. And especially those activities where you really get really into it, really like vested into those activities. You really got kind of lost time and were completely caught up in it. And then try to define, if you have written that down, try to define what it was actually that you liked doing it with. So for me, it was really like, I liked the feeling of earning money. I really loved that. I liked the idea that I could just buy something cheaper and then sell it more expensive. That the fact that you could just have this, the fact that you could just make money, I just like that idea. So just to be smart in something and buy it cheaper and then sell it more expensive was just, to me, like a brilliant insight. I don't think anyone told me how to do that, but I just thought like, wow, this is really, really handy. Then you have money and then you can buy something else and then you can make more money. And so there was always something around money with me, funny enough. And I like to be at service there. So I liked it really that whether they played it or not, they kind of liked my activity and were happy to buy the candies from me. So they didn't have to go to the shops themselves. But look at what you did when you were young and what it is that you really liked about it. Like when I built construction work with my nephew, I really, very simple ones, obviously, but I really loved just trying to make very huge constructions through blocks, just with very simple blocks. And we could just spend hours in there just doing that. So it was the building itself I really loved, not so much playing with it afterwards. And I think every child has had his fantasy place when he was young. So try to define what it is you liked in it. And then the second question will be, um, what if you had all the freedom in the world to do whatever you like? So money is not limiting you, time is not limiting you, the place where you live is not limiting you. What is it that you would like to integrate in your life? What is it that you would like to see in your life? What is it that you would love to do? And not just a job, but it can also be a daily activity, which is similar to a job, but something you really would like to spend a lot of time in doing it or would like to have it. So, for instance, if you love traveling, then that's something you would like to write down for yourself. And then be a little bit more specific what you like then about traveling. So what it is you want to do. Do you want to see many cities or many countries because you want to explore more cultures, or do you just want to travel because you want to, I don't know, the way of traveling is interesting to you, or do you just want to see specific art in many different countries, or whatever? What is it that you then like to do? And if you more want to see a change in your daily activities, like if I wouldn't have to work for my money, then I would do this on a daily basis. Like I would like to write, or I would like to study again, or and what is the subject I would like to study then, or I would like to really change my job and become A, B, or C. And don't get limited by the fact that you don't have the education. Don't get limited by the fact that you don't have the money. Don't get limited by the fact that you don't see how you can realize that in your life. Just write anything down you like. And try to become very, very clear with yourself what it actually is you like most. You can write down 2 or 3 things, but then make an order in it. Well, this is really the thing I love most. And this is second, and this is third. So fantasize away. I'm just looking at my notes because I've written 7 questions down. And then if you look at that list of 3 things, and probably you have described it in a way like something in the direction of a job, like becoming a writer, or becoming a teacher, or becoming a public speaker, or becoming a trainer, or whatever. So you probably have written it down in kind of a job description or activity, like I want to travel, or I want to be free and help other people, or help elderly people, or something like that. And then I would like you to write down per point. So if you have written down 3 things, for each one of them, I would like you to write down the quality you like of that new fantasy. So what is it, if you like to become a teacher, and you're not a teacher today, what is it that you like about the role of becoming a teacher? And if you've written down, I would love to travel, what is it that you like about traveling? What does it bring you? What's the feeling it will give you? So for instance, if you love traveling, you might write down like, well, I love to meet people. I like to explore the world and meet new people and learn more about their lives. Or I just like this freedom and get up in the morning and decide where I want to go, because then I know I get more inspiration, or I get excitement from feeling this freedom. And if you like to become a teacher, then you might write down, well, I really love working with teenagers because they really inspire me to help them grow. I really love to mentor them in their journey, because it makes me feel like I can. It makes me feel like I can be this adult who learns another person something, or I can show them the way, and that makes me feel like I can use my experience for others, and that makes me feel good. Um, to help others, it excites me to just explore with them how they can learn their stuff at school best or whatever it is. So really try to look at the qualities and the feeling you get with it. And so you really have to imagine, if this is a reality for me now, how would that make me feel? Then the next question would be, if you have this new imagined idea about yourself, what you will be doing, what is it that you bring to others? So what in that new role you will give to others? Write that down. So like for me, sharing about this, what I give to others, I give insights about how life works. That really is something that excites me. I can share my knowledge, I can share my wisdom, and I love to share that with others. And 2 questions before, if I dream away, I would love to be that elderly, wise woman who anyone can come to with any question. That's always been a dream. For the past 8 years, when I step into a meditation like this, I was guided once, and there's always coming up something like I'm sitting on this mountain and people come to me with questions, and I'll help them, and then they can move forward. So always some kind of vision there. And I've had that vision in more like a business environment, but I had this vision just in life, about any topic. Just people come to me and I help them move forward. So write for yourself down what it is you love to, or what it actually is you bring others. Not so much because you like it, but because you just see it happen. So if you are, well, just take the teacher again. If you want to become a teacher, what it is that you bring your students or your colleagues or the school you become a teacher at. Well, it's all imagination, of course, so it's not reality, but think of what you like to bring others. So what do others get from you by you living your dream? That's number 4. And I will write down these questions later on in a short overview. And then think, and this seems to be the same step as number 3, but it's slightly different. So then imagine again that you're doing this new activity, this new job, or this new fulfillment in life. And then think what it actually is again that really excites you. What does it do to you? How do you feel different if you really imagine yourself doing that? Like it can be as simple or abstract. I just feel myself grow. I feel myself rise up and feel stronger. When I imagine myself doing that, I can feel myself really like living up to my dreams. I feel myself become more powerful, more stronger, more grounded, more creative, more excited, more I can even see myself more being there. I'm more vested in daily life. I'm more present. Or I can see myself having more joy, having more fun. Or really try to feel, if you imagine doing that. So you really have to be doing it. You really have to be doing it now. And just imagine what it brings to you. The feeling that comes up. So write that down too. And then see if there's any difference between what you've written down at point 3 and point 5, just to see if you add more qualities that you couldn't think of before at point 3, but now you've really embodied actually the new way of living. You might come up with qualities you weren't aware of before. Sensations you can feel in your body, like if I imagine myself being this wise woman that anyone can come to, I can literally feel myself like opening up And I love this idea of just having an answer in such a way that I really can help to any topic, that I can really help people go forth, give them insights in such a simple way that it just makes sense immediately. So that's point 6. And then for now, actually, I just want you to really amplify that vision, to really, I actually wanted to go back now to your daily life, but I think for today, I just really want you to first fully go into visionary state. Imagine anything you like, there are no restrictions. So perhaps you can go over after question 6. So the differences in the qualities, go back perhaps to question 1 again and go back to your childhood and then think of like, was there something else that might now come up that I haven't thought about before that I really love doing? Like what came up for me this morning, that I liked it to make pottery. We once had this table, when you can have this wheel underneath it and you can spin around a plateau, and then you have this clay and you can make your own pottery. And I love this working with my hands and making pottery. I really love doing that. And what it is I liked about this activity was that I could, out of nothing, a piece of clay, I could create something. And I like the smoothness of the turning wheel, the turning platform, the plateau that turns around very fast. Otherwise, you can't make a very smooth pot or vase or whatever it was I was making. And that it went so flowing. But at the same time, if I was out of balance and pushed a little bit too hard on one side, it completely messed it up. So I had to be very, very focused and become very one with that clay. Not, I wasn't thinking of that at the time, of course, but I know it became so very precise that too much pressure wouldn't be enough. So I really had to follow the shape and the form of the clay in order to become a really nice vase or a nice pot. But that flow in that process, I really loved. That's the same as I love that flow in two people dance. I also like it that when two people dance, that they are so one with their passion, and they're so one with their partner. Like they're completely, like you're watching something very intimate as an outsider, and you can feel that connection between two people. So these are all different. The reason why I'm sharing my own stories, because they're all different qualities. That doesn't really translate into a concrete job or activity. But these are the qualities I just love to have in my life. And it's really important to become aware of those qualities you like. And it excites you because we so often are caught up in our busy schedule that we don't even are aware of what we really like doing. We don't even are aware what really excites us, or what it is actually that really excites us. So this is a first step towards moving towards purpose and heartfelt desire. Again, I know I mentioned it before, explaining what a heartfelt desire is and what the difference is to perhaps how you look at your life today. And now I just want you to really envision anything you like. Just be really out of the box and become really one with your vision and really embody it. And be careful with your mind that comes up like, oh, that's never going to happen, or it's a nice dreaming, but I've tried that before and I know it won't work for me. Try to push everything away. Just really just imagine and get to the qualities of what you like there. Because the end goal here is to get at to the qualities, what it is you really love. It's not so much about the actual realizing the actual fantasy. It might be one, but it doesn't have to be, or at least not in the next phase. So, well, have fun with this one. Take some time for it, or take a half an hour or 20 minutes every day in the coming days to just look at it and don't get frustrated. See it as a fun game, or talk with someone else about it, and ask that other person to look for the moment when you really light up. When you talk about something, and you might have watched me in this session, and there probably were moments where I was more light up than other moments in this sharing. So if you share it with someone else, and that person should just not react. So you just do this sharing, like brainstorming out loud, imagining out loud with yourself, and the other person is just listening and watching you. And then that person just notes, not writing down, but just remembers, like, that was the moment that you really, really got to the quality you really loved when you shared this. And of course, you can also feel it within yourself, like this bubble coming up, or this feeling of excitement, or you literally feel your body opening up, or there's goosebumps on your arms. Something that changes in your system. You might also sense that when you think about these qualities. So I write down the questions again, and I post them in a separate post, probably a little bit later today. Okay, good luck with this one and enjoy it. See you tomorrow. Bye.